Okay, you guys, so today I wanted to talk about something that I get questions about all the time, and that is foil placement. So as you know, no two heads are the same, and that means every client is going to need something a little more unique when it comes to foil patterns. You can have a general idea of what you're gonna do. Like for example, at our salon, we have a menu for blonding, and we have a partial highlight, a half highlight, and a full highlight. I do have a general placement of foils for each of these things, but every head shape's different, like I said, so I will tweak it depending on the client and the look that they're going for. So it's really good to have a general idea and then just be able to tweak depending on your client's needs. So as you can see right here, I am parting off the bang area, and I'm doing that very first. Money pieces and a bright hairline are so popular right now. Every client's gonna be a little different in how bright they want their hairline. Some clients will hate the chunky look, others will want it a little more bold. So just depending on what your client asks for, that's what you're going to do. So with her, I wanted her money piece to stand out a little more, but I still want it to look really subtle and natural because we are going to be doing more of a rooted blonde on her. So I'm taking a slice here and I am doing the lightener. I used Goldwell Oxycure with 20 volume and Olaplex, and as you can see, I mainly focused on her regrowth area, but then I did feather down where she had a little bit of gold banding just to kind of knock through that. And then I'm going to do another section right here. And as you can see, I'm just doing these back to back, and these ones are slices so that I have a brighter, bolder piece in the front. All right, so as you can see here, I've transitioned into doing highlights instead of slices. So what I'll do is I'll typically do anywhere from like 2 to 4 slices back to back, depending on how thick I want that piece in the front to be. And then I transition into highlights so that it looks a little more natural and not so stripy. You wanna make sure you have really good ratio of your sections right here because it really is easy to make it look a little too chunky. So I always make sure that my baby lights are really small and delicate and my foils are pretty close together. All right, and then something I like to do with these front pieces is I've taken all of those dropouts from the highlights, I back comb a couple of times, and then I'm actually just going to take this one big piece as a slice and I'm going to feather some lightener on it just to pop out those ends. And this is also going to give the money piece a brighter look. Something that I do with all of my foil patterns, no matter what, is I always go with the shape of the head on an angle. I feel like it's just the most natural looking result for any client because even though all head shapes are different, everyone's head is round and circular. So if you do that, you're just gonna have a better, more natural result. But then sometimes I will go through and then do some straight on like this so that there's a variation in the way the foils are laying. So you can see here I'm doing that pattern where I have a few angled and then a few straight on. The angled ones are always going to be towards the front of the head because that's the hair that's going to lay towards the front of the head, and it's just gonna look the most natural when it's being pulled up or even when it's down. So you just wanna make sure that you're just following the shape of the client's head, and that's gonna give you a good guide of where to place that foil. So I don't know if you've been able to notice, but I have kind of mixed up my stitches on her. So on some areas, I'm doing a heavier stitch that's a little bit thicker. And then on other areas, I'm doing more of a baby light. The variation of these two stitching patterns is going to give me a more broken up appearance. And it's also gonna help with that rooted blonde that we are doing, because we're gonna have some blondes that pop a little bit more and then some that blend a little bit more. I am a big advocate for baby lights. So even though I am doing bigger stitches on some of these foils, it's still a small section. It's not too chunky. And I think that's the thing that you have to keep in mind, whether you're doing a really delicate stitch or a thicker one, is your sections always need to be really thin, just so that you can get a really good clean lift. All right, you guys, so here is the before and after. The final result turned out so beautiful. We did a half highlight on her. We did a little bit of a shadow, and you can see that she still has brightness, but it looks really natural and blended. We also did add extensions, of course, but I just wanted to show you the inside of the hair, show you the hairline, and just give you the full result so that you can see why foil patterns are so important. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.